Going all the way back to 1995 comes this absolute nightmare of a vehicle right here. Now, I know a lot of people give a bad rap to Batman Forever, but I gotta tell you, of all the 90s Batman movies that starred Uma Thurman, this one falls firmly in the top 10, at least. Maybe top 15. But, so it's got that going for it. But this thing, what is happening with any of this? This is a lot of styling. Just a lot of styling. It's got these wings and more wings. And I'll give it this. When you see this thing driving down the street with giant bat wings on the top, in case it needs to lift off, with these extra bat signals on the side, some more bat wings here, and vaguely looking like the kind of dragster Batmobiles of the past, you definitely know that this is Batman's car. So I'll give it that. In terms of branding, it's fantastic. If you loved Batman Forever, that's great. I'm glad. I hope you really enjoyed that movie. It does have some kitsch. It does have some camp. And I will admit that while watching it, I often thought back to what I consider the original Batman. I know it's not the the serials, the black and white serials from the 30s, 40s. But what I think of as, the Adam West Batman, it did have some of that camp. So much so that half the time I expected it would, say bam, biff, pow up on the screen. So I'll give it that. But this thing, oh boy. The one nice thing is it has one of the better Batman figures. He is designed specifically to drive in there, so, he can't stand up without appearing drunk, but he can sit on it pretty cool. So that's nice. Let's get a shot of that for the catalog. That's something. We'll get a shot of this with Batman right there. I'll show you the back of Batman if you need to see that. At least this way you know that, the dog hasn't chewed on him or anything. He comes with 5 points of articulation and is sculpted in such a way that he just cannot stand on his own. But at least, and appears to have broken his ankle. But I guess he fits nicely in the car, so I'm going to move him off to the side, and we're never going to discuss him again. But he will be part of this lot, and he will come with it. Normally, I'd hold this up so you could see it a little bit better, but I'm afraid I'm going to stab myself in the eyes with these wings. So I'll show you best I can inside that cockpit, that canopy right there. And you know what? Rather than do that, I'm going to put Batman back in there. He seems comfortable. He seems happy. He can... Oh, geez! We just launched a missile, so let me hold off 1 second and get that. All right, so crisis averted. We've got the missile back in the case here that just launched randomly, endangering everyone here in the gallery. But we've got it taken care of. We've got Batman is seemingly back in his vehicle, so he is safe. We'll ship him like that. I do want to point out the size of this thing. So, this giant Lovecraftian horror here. He is probably about 21 inches or so all the way to the wings. Not including the wings, he's probably closer to, I'm going to say about 14, 15 inches to the back of that burner. Now, as for the wings themselves, first off, here's what we're going to do. Just for you, I'm going to risk life and limb by showing you this feature right here, if we can. So, safety first, we've got this hand in here, and we'll show you there we go. So you can see that it does launch. Let's put it over here, maybe we can see a little bit better. Now, obviously, our lawyers will suggest that you be careful with such a thing, but let's check this out. All right, so you do see that the firing mechanism does work. One of my favorite things about this vehicle, they are far and few between, is this engine console here. So you have that cobalt blue, really well done underneath the black there in this H.R. Giger monster that they've designed around it, this weird organic skeletal frame. And I do want to point out, so it is some kind of electronics. Now, we're not going to show you those, one, because for the most part, we typically do not, under most circumstances, test the electronics for various liability reasons and concerns. We don't ship anything that we know to be working electronics through the mails, and other than video game console type things. And two, because even though it's working right now, I might test it, and on the way to you, is the one day that the shelf life of that finally decides to give. All electronics eventually will fail, and sometimes that's what happens. So we don't like to ship batteries in the mail. We also don't like to ship you a thing that was working fine in the gallery, but decides that the last day was somewhere on the mail to you. So we don't test the electronics. With this one in particular, the reason we don't test the electronics is because I am afraid it will summon Cthulhu if we do that. Now, I do want to point out the wings. These do come off, and we will ship them that way, rather than send you a 48-inch box that's going to cost you a ton of money. But I do want to point out one little thing. We're going to take these off too. That's pretty interesting. They took the time to mold out all of this little intricacies in there on a piece that you aren't supposed to see. So ideally, the bat's just going to drive around like this the entire time you own it and play with it. And then these things are going to do, God only knows what they're supposed to do. As we put that right in here. And it does have multiple modes, if you want to call it that, so it does spread out all the way there, and it does come back in here. What does that matter to the aerodynamics of this? I don't know. No part of this vehicle makes sense to me. I don't know if we got you a shot of the back there. And we do have, what's this? I was at the electronics. That's probably the electronics button. So I've probably already summoned Cthulhu to destroy us all. So way to be aware of that. But overall, a pretty neat looking car. If you're really into the nostalgia of it, if you loved Batman Forever, then you're really going to like this piece. How do you get it to you? Well, you can make out an arrangement with Cthulhu to bring it with him as he has now been summoned, or you can head on over to TheBigToyAuction.com. You can leave your pre-bids right now by using the links in the description and in the catalog, or you can join us live on auction day. Whichever way you choose to do it, we're going to see you at the auction.